Big brother.
Morning.
Good everyone. James, if you want to kick us off.
Yeah, good morning, David.
Morning.
Start with the team news ahead of the trip to Anfield tomorrow.
What we got? Kurt's done a little bit of training. Don't know if it's going to make him right yet. Craig Dawson we're unsure about. So probably not much change from where we were on Sunday.
Maxwell Cornet, is this a bit too soon for him?
Yeah, Maxie's had as I said before, had a little bit of calf strain. He's getting close. He's probably going to start training this week, but he's not ready yet. No.
That's some good news with Nayef being back on grass training. Is there a timeline for his return?
Really good news that he's on his way back, because we brought him in as a key player for us, and obviously gets injured in the first pre-season game just about. So really difficult for us, but he's very close to. He's started training. He's not fully integrated yet with the players as far as that goes, but he's getting closer to playing again now.
Do you think he could feature before the World Cup?
I think he'll definitely feature before the World Cup, but I couldn't tell you if it's a week's time, 2 weeks' time quite yet, because he's had no match practice. He's not been involved in the Premier League yet, so I think it's more likely we'll be more looking to get him maybe, games in Europe or under 23 games or something like that before we start considering him for the Premier League yet.
And your side this season played 16 games already, got 8 games between now and the start of the World Cup. How are you and the players coping with the demands that are coming your way right now?
Well, we're smiling and we're sort of trying to keep enjoying things, and we're trying to keep training as light and easy as possible for them. It's very difficult to prepare all the time, especially the Thursday, Sunday games make it very difficult. And let's be fair, we don't have too many Premier League games which come sort of weekend and then the midweek, but we've got one this week, and we have to get ready as best we can.
And how are you feeling about the trip to Anfield? It doesn't get much tougher than Anfield under the lights midweek game.
No, probably in football terms, probably as hard a place in the world to go and to try and win a game for MD. You've seen that. Probably the best manager in the world has found it very difficult to go there and get a result. So that's why it's difficult for us all.
And talking about managers, Jurgen Klopp may or may not be in the dugout alongside you, in the opposite dugout, so to speak, tomorrow. What did you make of his actions on Sunday?
Well, first thing I say, I hope he is in the dugout opposite, because part of this job is that you want to play against the best and you want to go and compete against them. Jurgen's up there with them all, and what he's done with Liverpool over the years. So, yeah, his actions are part of it. We're really het up. If you were in that position, you would probably feel the same. But we've all got great respect for referees, the work they have to do. I hope in their way they'll understand that 90 minutes or a bit longer, we sometimes can lose our head here or there a little bit. But if you keep talking about it and keep bringing it to the attention of everybody, then obviously we have to answer the questions. If you don't ask us any questions on the referees or talk to us about them, then we try and forget about it.
And I understand that, but when you see a manager sent off in the way that Jurgen was sent off on Sunday, you probably understand why I'm asking you questions about that. And do you feel that example needs to be better, and Premier League managers need to set a better example in how they treat referees?
Well, I don't know. I don't think you should really be asking me a question about Jurgen Klopp, because I can't speak for Jurgen Klopp. But if you're asking me a question about managers, yeah, I'm really keen to talk to you about that. And as I've just really said, for 90 minutes or so, it becomes a really emotional game. Sometimes you can change your character from maybe what your true character is. But I think if we stood there and didn't do nothing, I think our supporters, the public, you, would probably be questioning why not. And actually, I think if you look at the incident which he got angry about, he was correct, wasn't he?
There were some other incidents in the crowd at Anfield that we saw, allegations of coin throwing, chants related to tragedies, graffiti, vandalism. We saw obviously the actions of Anderlecht fans here in the London Stadium last week. Are these isolated incidents, do you think, or are we starting to see these incidents maybe rearing their head into football again?
I really hope it's not the case. I hope we're well gone from that and we're moving on. We've got fantastic stadiums all around Europe now, wherever you go and play. I think the policing, and I think all the stuff what people do, they try to do the best they can. So I hope that's not the case. But obviously, there's always going to be an element somewhere in football which might not be the case. But again, we're bringing that small number to attention by you asking me the question about it as well. So I'm answering it the best I can. But in truth is, I hope that football's not going anywhere near that again.
Finally for me, Vladimir Coufal, I saw that he received a little bit of abuse from some West Ham fans online, and he took a post that he posted down after the Southampton game. I just wanted to ask, first of all, how is he? And secondly, what message have you got for West Ham fans who choose to abuse their own players online?
Well, I don't do social media, so I don't really know exactly how it feels or what it does, but I've been in plenty of times where, you know, been abused quite regularly. So it's not nice for MD if that's the case. But overall, you know, the club's really supportive of the players. I'm sure the club would be looking after Vladimir as well. And Vladimir's played really, really well. When you think of where Vladimir's come from in the last 2 or 3 years, and think the part of the journey which he's helped us from probably being relegation side for long periods to a side pushing at the top of the league, Vladimir's played a huge part in that.
Yep.
Hi David.
Hi there.
After what we've seen from Liverpool in the last week against Rangers and Man City, does it feel like it could be their turning point of the season?
I hope not, you know, from our point of view. But look, I think there's no doubt that I don't think MD really feels that Liverpool are going to be close to the bottom end of the league. I think everybody's quite aware that they're going to be close to the top end of the league. So I think, look, Liverpool are a really good team. I would hate to think there's I would like to think there was similarities with the teams, I should say, but you know, we started a little bit slow this season, and Liverpool have as well. I think Liverpool was nearly in every cup final last year. We had the record number of games we've ever had, and I think that in a way has probably not helped the start of the season as much as we probably would like. So hopefully we're both beginning to find a little bit of form.
You managed to really challenge them in recent meetings. How confident are you that you could do it again tomorrow?
Well, I'm confident if we can play well and we can get our best players in the pitch, I think we're able to do that. I think we've shown that last year. We tried to compete against always said one of the things last year I wanted to do was be competitive against the best teams. I thought we'd done that. Probably really where we didn't was the teams we should have been beaten we didn't beat, but I thought we were relatively competitive against the so-called better teams last year, and I hope we can try and do that this year.
It wasn't the win against Southampton on Sunday, but the unbeaten run continues. Can you feel how the team is coming together and pulling in the right direction?
I do think that we're beginning to go in the right direction, but we've got I saw Sunday as being a little bit of a blip because we didn't take 3 points, and I saw it as a game we probably should have won. But maybe going back to where we've been at the start of the season, maybe not scored enough goals, maybe not took enough chances. All those things were relative to it. We also had to go into the game without any really recognised central defenders. Really, we had Tilo, but we didn't really have MDL. So there's been, and that was a little bit the same in the opening 3 or 4 games of the season. We didn't have centre halves in the opening 3 or 4 games of the season, which certainly had an effect on us.
Thank you.
David, just picking up on something you said earlier about keeping training light because you've got such a busy schedule. What do you sacrifice that you would like to do?
Well, time. You try not to be on your legs as long as you would normally be. You try to give them a bit more time at home. You're trying to give them a little bit more recovery time. You're using some of the training time with maybe more massage time, other parts of it, so that the players can get themselves in the best condition they can. And again, just because we've played more games than MDLs, then we are the ones who are finding that we need the depth of squad we've got. We've had injuries, which is always going to make it more difficult because it might mean that we're having to play more players repetitively. We've had a couple of illnesses as well, which has not helped at this time of the year. But look, we're not complaining. We've got European football, and that's probably the main reason we've got the extra games, and we're happy to have them.
And it was mentioned about Klopp and Jurgen Klopp and the referee. Jurgen Klopp and Guardiola, the managers, sort of, perhaps not the best of friends. Is football less sociable? Are managers less sociable after games?
I think it is the Premier League or football's changed generally of that. But hey, they are two of the finest managers, if not two of the best managers in football. No, obviously there's been other greats: Sir Bobby Robson, Brian Clough, Sir Alex Ferguson. You could name great football managers and many more, I'm sure. But these two at this era we're in the Premier League are unbelievable levels and quality of managers. So off the field, I'm sure that they have no problem, but competitive they really are. But it used to always be a real big tradition that the managers would go in for a drink. Our country especially was probably the one who had done it, because I think by the end of the games all the managers felt that they had the same, not the same problems, same situations, and at the end of the game they could have a cup of tea, or they might have a glass of wine or a beer. So I think it's much less because we've brought in many more cultures into our league, and many of them, several of them, they don't see that as being part of how they see their end to the game, if you want to call it that. Over the years, when it was more of a probably going to say a British mentality, where there was a bit of tradition's a good word, was probably where we used to go for a beer together or a quick glass of wine or something after. And probably the one who was always pushing was Sir Alex. Sir Alex was always very, very keen for the managers to be in contact and have 10-15 minutes with each other after the games.
Okay, cameras off then if we can, please.